Monster, Chapter 11, Part 1, Green Face. There was no sign of Mr. Tabby as Pearl and Ben tiptoed through the lobby. A mischievous smile spread across Pearl's face. Sneaking out of the hospital was much more exciting than clipping Sasquatch toenails. She'd hoped to meet an amazing creature today. She'd hoped to have an adventure. Her dreams were about to come true. But as soon as she unbolted the front door, her smile faded. Mrs. Mulberry's car was parked just beyond the locked gate. Mrs. Mulberry sat on the hood, peering through a pair of binoculars. Victoria Mulberry, now attired in a frilly pink dress, leaned against the car, a book propped in her hands. "Yoo-hoo!" Mrs. Mulberry called. She slid off the hood and flung herself at the fence, her red overalls bright against the black bars. "I see you, Pearl Petal! I see you, Ben Silverstein! Let us in!" "What are they doing here?" Ben asked. "They're pests," Pearl said. "Ignore them." What about locking the hospital door?" Ben asked. "Remember what happened the last time I left it unbolted?" "Of course I remember. The Sasquatch got out, but it's fast asleep upstairs, so we don't have to worry. Besides, we can't bolt it from the outside. Come on, we'll be right back." Pearl led Ben around to the far side of the building. Unseen from the road, this section of yard had grown wild with weeds. The grass reached to Pearl's knees. As far as she could tell, it hadn't been cut since the button factory closed. So what had once been a manicured lawn had turned into a field of dandelions, daisies, and the occasional thistle. One of the thistles reached under the hem of Pearl's basketball shorts and scratched her knee, but that didn't slow her down. As she crushed the overgrowth with her flip-flops, the scent of dirt and dampness rose from the grass. Ben was close behind. He didn't move as quickly, his legs being a bit shorter than hers. Pearl was pretty sure she could beat him in a race. "What if the creature is dangerous?" Ben asked. "You're a total worrywart," Pearl said. "I'm not a total worrywart," Ben insisted, "but I think we should go back because my grandfather told me to stay away from the lake behind the hospital. He said that once, a long time ago, some people were swimming there, and this giant whirlpool appeared, and it sucked them in. They haven't been seen since." Pearl didn't miss a single determined step. "Did you just make that up?" She'd learned during their last visit that Ben liked to tell stories. "Yeah, okay, I just made that up. But the truth is, I don't want to get eaten by whatever that thing is." Pearl didn't want to get eaten either, but she wanted to find out more about the green creature. "It's not going to eat us." "You can't know that. What if it ranks a 3 on the danger scale? Or a 4? Or 5? "I'm not scared," she said. They hurried around the corner of the building so that they were now behind the hospital. After crossing the grass, they stopped at the edge of the lake and looked into the water. The reflection stared back at them from the surface, which was as smooth as a tabletop. Glossy lily pads floated in little clumps here and there. Except for a pair of mallard ducks, nothing appeared to be swimming above or below. Pearl turned around. Tree branches were visible behind the third-floor windows, but the other floors were dark. "Is anyone watching us?" she asked. "Not that I can tell," Ben replied. "Good." Pearl ran to a rickety old dock. Some of the planks had rotted through, so she stepped carefully over those. Creaking sounds arose as she made her way to the end. Hoping to get a better view, she knelt and peered down into the water. "It's murky," she reported. "I can't see how deep it is." Taking small, cautious steps, Ben soon joined her. "Do you think it lives on that island?" he asked, pointing. A small, pine-tree-covered island sat in the middle of the lake. A sandy beach ran around the island's perimeter. "Maybe," Pearl said, getting to her feet. Cocking her head, she listened, but heard nothing unusual, just a few twittering birds. Then she took a deep breath, cupped her hands around her mouth, and hollered, "Hey, green creature, where are you?" Ben gasped. "What are you doing?" He looked back over his shoulder. "If you yell like that, someone at the hospital will hear you." "I want the creature to hear me," Pearl said. She was about to call out again when a ripple appeared at the far end of the lake, disturbing a patch of lily pads. Uh-oh. Ben took a step back as a green head emerged. The head was attached to a neck that gradually rose from the water, higher and higher and higher, until the head hovered far above the lake. Pearl and Ben gawked, their mouths wide open. It was a moment of pure wonder.